Hi, thank you. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us in this webinar from wherever you are. My name is Yvonne, and I'm the head of Student Recruitment, Marketing, and Communications from ESSEC Business School, ESSEC Asia Pacific. So welcome to the ESSEC Experience Day, and today's session in focus is titled Acing, the World's Second Most Popular Management Masters. A leading pioneer in education since 1907, ESSEC is ranked the 8th business school in Europe by the Financial Times in 2021, and it is amongst the 1% of all business schools that are triple accredited. Founded in 1907 as well, our Master in Management, MIM for short, or commonly known as the Grande École, is one of the most established and prestigious management masters in the world. Not only that, it is also the second most popular MIM program based on the number of unique Gmat score senders in 2021. Many of our graduates are business leaders who helm some of the world's most influential organizations such as Chanel, PwC, UBS, and L'Oreal. So in the first half of this session, we are going to unravel the MIM application process to help interested applicants like yourself to strengthen your preparation for the upcoming intake. We have with us here 4 alumni to impart some valuable tips. They are Harshit Agrawal, Olympio Barthélemy, Lian Xing Xiong, and Wenwen. The second half of the session will talk about how the MIM program has helped our graduates attain career success. This segment will be hosted by my colleague, Leo Tan. Leo, would you like to introduce yourself and your department?
Hi everyone, welcome to this evening's webinar. I'm Leo and I'm heading the Career Services, Alumni and Corporate Relations team here at the Singapore campus. So welcome everyone.
Thanks, Leo. I'll now cast the spotlight on our alumni by letting them do a quick round of self-introduction and briefly touch on what attracted them to the MIM program. Who wants to start first? Harshit, probably.
Thanks, Yvonne. Welcome, everyone. My name is Harshit Agrawal, and I am from the 2018 MIM batch. I started at ESSEC in Singapore. I did a track there, did an internship as well. And then I moved to the main campus in Sergi in 2020. I graduated last year, and currently I'm working as a strategy and planning analyst at MongoDB in Dublin, Ireland. What attracted me towards the MIM program? Well, it's a very unique program. I don't think that any other college has such a flexible and open program, first of all. And as you will see along this webinar, and we all are going to discuss about our journey, we have a lot to share with you, and also you'll understand that how open and how diverse this program is.
Cool. Wenwen, how about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Wenwen. I joined ESSEC in 2015. I joined in Sergi campus. I did a corporate finance summer track in Singapore, and I did some internships there and got a written offer from there as well. I graduated in 2018. I also did a digital disruption chair, which is sponsored by BNP Paribas, which is my current employer. I'm a business manager in primary markets. I'm based in London for now. What attracts me most about ESSEC is, okay, Harshit said my words, flexibility. So I came in without knowing what I want to do, but when I graduated, I have so much I want to do and so much to explore. So that's the reason.
Nice, nice. Okay, Olympio, how about yourself?
Thank you. So yeah, Olympio. I'm a French student, as you can hear. I was a French student, sorry. And so I was, at the time, I had graduated from engineering school in computer science, and I really wanted to expand my knowledge of business and be able to join roles as strategy consulting, which I ultimately joined currently, and I'm working currently as a strategy senior consultant at Monitor Deloitte in Paris. And so, yeah, I was really attracted by ESSEC because first it was, as a French person, it was very prestigious and would help me join such demanding jobs. Also, although I'm French and now work in France, it was also about the international aspect, meeting lots of international students, as you can see with this panel, be able to study in Singapore and to have classes there with actual Singaporean teachers, not just French people coming there. So yeah, those aspects were critical for my choice.
Amazing. We have Lindsay with us as well. Lindsay, would you like to do a brief self-introduction?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Liansheng. Oh, by the way, am I audible? Because it's literally,
You can hear you.
I'm not very used to use Zoom. My name is Liansheng, and I graduated from ESSEC. Actually, I enrolled in ESSEC in 2017. And right now, I work for Amazon as a business analyst, usually based in London, but today I'm in Paris, and that's why I'm a little bit late for this meeting, because I was so confused by like 3 different time zones there. Yeah, that's me. Nice to meet you guys.
Right. I think all of you have summed up very nicely the diversity of the program, and each of you being in different time zones, different nationality, it really speaks volumes about the program and how diverse and flexible it is. So, okay, my first question for this segment is, the Mim program has very specific admission routes for international and French degrees. So Harshit and Olympio, both of you applied with an international and French degree respectively. So could you each briefly share your own application experience via these 2 different admission tracks?
Olympio, you want to go first?
Okay, so thanks, Harshit. So yeah, in France, there are multiple documents that you need to build. Documents together. Second one is to take that very seriously, because that's your ID card when what you want people to judge you on. So multiple elements. It was required to provide one cover letter where you need to explain what is your project, why you want to join ESSEC, and what you think it will provide you in terms of learnings, in terms of career development, where it belongs in your story, in the development of your future career. Another element were letters from people that have worked with you, or that have, so for what on my side, it was one teacher from my school that I had worked with on projects, and one of my managers in my apprenticeship in my previous studies. So really, and that's confidential, so I don't know what they wrote, but they have to write how you are a person that is interested in joining such a business track, and how they see that you have the right abilities to join this. And the final element, I think, would be to take either the Tajmaj, which is a French test, or the Gmat, or is it, sorry, Yvonne, the last one would be GRA would be the last one. So I personally took the Tajmaj. I later on took the Gmat to join a double degree that I did at ESSEC, but so Tajmaj is in French. You can prepare it, you should prepare it. It's based on logical questions, on also vocabulary, understanding exactly what a text means, etc. It's very close to Gmat, but much more logic. It's quite fun actually. If you take it in a fun way, it's fun with enigma to solve with letters and numbers. So you should definitely prepare for it well in advance, because then you need to take it. It's once a month, I think, or once every 6 months to take the. I think every 6 months to take the exam, and then you need to wait for the results. So do take that shortly if you're applying this year.
Nice. Harshit, how about yourself?
Thanks, Olympio. So I'm an Indian national, and I applied in India at that time for ESSEC. So the application was a bit similar to what Olympio just mentioned, but I think it gets a bit different when it comes to international students, or maybe non-French students. Well, as interesting as the MIM program is, the application process is equally, I would say, challenging and interesting. Well, starting off with the basic stuff, where you just need to provide some information about yourself, what you have been doing so far, if you're working somewhere or not, what your international experience has been or has not been. But I think 2 main elements which I really feel that applicants should focus on is, first of all, Gmat or GRE. Well, these are international level examinations, so it's very much possible that at a given point of time, when you are sitting, let's say in India, there's a chance that a person sitting in China or some other part of the world is giving the same GMAT exam and does not have the same set of questions. And it's an adaptive level of examination. So as and when you give the right answers, it gets more and more difficult. So first of all, for GMAT and GRE, like just forget everything and prepare well for it. Because if you clear that hurdle, I think that really gives you an edge over others at times. And it really speaks volumes about your adaptive and your critical thinking and everything. And then the second most important part, I would say, is the essays and the motivation letter. Well, ESSEC requires you to write 2 to 3 essays and submit a motivation letter. I think that is very, very important because first of all, it's a chance for you to share a lot about yourself as a person with the panelist or with the person who is reviewing your application. It gives you a chance to show them that how motivated you are to join ESSEC, and it's an opportunity for you to tell them that why ESSEC is a bridge for you to take you where you want to be in your career or in your life in the long run. So I think you just have to connect those dots in those essays in the motivation letter, which are so important. I think like how I prepared was like I really asked a lot of my friends and faculties to go through those essays again and again. They were very small essays, just 300, 400 words, but make sure the English is correct. There are no like basic errors, and you're answering what the question asks you to answer. So very important elements. At times people do neglect them, but I would really say that please focus on, first of all, your exam score, and secondly, your essays and your motivation letter.
Yeah, in a true spirit of a MIM student, Harshit is very well versed with what I'm going to ask. So he's very smart. He knows what's the next question I'm going to ask, which is the hardest part of the application process. And he absolutely mentioned that already. So I hear Harshit mentioning about the management test, which is a fundamental preparation for the application process. Besides that, there I think would be other components as well. So I would invite Olympio or Wenwen to chime in on other parts of the application process that they find quite challenging. One of which is probably the interview process.
Yeah, maybe I can talk a little bit about the interview. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, all good.
Yeah, sorry. I think for me, I had an interview with SAI before ESSEC. So that is the program for HVC, ESAP. So when I had that interview, they didn't really ask specifically why I'm doing this. So after that, I started to think about what do I really want to do afterwards. So when I had the interview with ESSEC, it was very bespoke. I studied pharmaceuticals in my bachelor study. They were curious about why I want to switch and why France, why do I choose ESSEC, and what I want to do afterwards. So those questions are very good. I shared my honest opinions and they gave me some feedback, and they told me there's a therapeutic innovation chair in ESSEC that can help you if you want to pursue a career in healthcare. And if you want to do something else, there are a lot of enterprises to help you to nurture your dream. So I think during the interview process, I get to learn ESSEC a bit more. I really appreciate the whole process.
Yeah, and I have the same experience to build up on what you just said, Wenwen. I think it's really an enriching experience just to, and as you said before, Harshit as well, that it's interesting to do this, to join, because you really do introspection and try to take out the best from yourself and what you've done and what you want to make of yourself. And during the jury, I think you should really try to explain where you are in your. It's not a psychological session. You should not say everything you have in mind, of course, but it's people are really there to understand you, and they are looking at you with they want you to find the best what is the best fit for you, and to ensure that you will make the most out of the Mim program. I can share a bad and good experience. I initially applied for another program from ESSEC and had the jury, and it was the same format, but just I was not ready for it. I think I was trying to vent too much and to show I had done everything that exist and that I had amazing leadership skills, etc. And that's not what you're expected to do during this. You have to show that. So you may have touched upon things regarding leadership and to manage things, but you're not expected at the age that you are to have done everything and to know everything. You're there to learn, and you want to show that you can learn these kind of things at ESSEC.
Yeah, great sharing from Olympio and Wenwen. Any examples of the questions that were posed during the interview that could give our viewers here a good idea of how the interview process might actually look like?
Yeah, I think probably I can share a couple of questions that I've been asked like 5 years ago. So I think the whole interview is really about motivation. So the question I've got is like, why ESSEC? And why Singapore campus and then Paris campus? Because I choose to start in Singapore campus first. And also I got to ask a lot of questions about my CV, about my long-term career goal. So I would say the whole process or the whole exercise actually helped me a lot to understand where I want to be and what I want to achieve. And to me, it's more like a talk rather than an interview itself. So that's my personal experience.
I think a very important point there, like it's more of a talk and not an interview. And same happened with me as well. So I do interview now some new people like who want to join MIM. And one important point to note here is that at times we have to, not select some students even with very high Gmat scores or with, with good profiles, just because I think during the interview, we do sense that they are not yet ready for the MIM program at ESSEC. And when I say this, it's not judging your intellectuals or your past education. It just comes down to how you present yourself, first of all, during the interview, and secondly, the clarity which we need in terms of why ESSEC can really help you in the long run and in your career. And secondly, what really attracts you to ESSEC. So we really want that you are at least familiar of what ESSEC has to offer you in both the campuses. At least do your homework in terms of knowing what courses are to offer, what chairs do we have, what tracks do we have, where are the alumni working, what kind of industries do we join. I think clarity on these points would really highlight that, yes, you are interested in joining ESSEC, and I think that's what we need. Like, we really need motivated students to join this program.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah.
I would only emphasize what you just said, Harshit. I also participated in jury as a former student, which you can do just after graduating. And indeed, you want to see that the person first will be a good friend with other people. You don't want someone that is trying to beat everyone. You want it's not about how they like you personally, but more, would you have a discussion with that person individually? And also, indeed, are you mature enough, or are you just not there yet? And maybe you should wait 1 or 2 more years and more experience with the world to join the program. And yeah, and finally, indeed, as you mentioned, Harshit, it's very important that you know what ESSEC has to provide. There is a number of tracks, a number of possibilities that you can do. We don't ask you to just know everything. It's, of course, everything is built as you grow at ESSEC, but you have to know what ESSEC has to provide. It's there, not everything that it provides, but at least what you want to take from it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, so simply put, the admission process is for the jury to understand you better in terms of your personality and your values, to assess of your fit with the program. And secondly, it is also to help us to understand your professional and personal goals that's in alignment with the program, because ultimately we want you to make the best out of the program and to also go on to find success in your life. So it's good that Olympio, you have already shared your perspective as a jury member, and Leo, my colleague here, is also sitting in the jury from time to time. So Leo, maybe you can offer a perspective that is like more of what kind of mistakes or what kind of issues do you face when you are interviewing students, and how can they overcome this kind of pitfalls?
Okay, I think most of our alumni panelists have really given a very good coverage, a very holistic perspective on advice, right, for during the jury interviews. Maybe I could just add a few points, I wouldn't say mistakes, but I think what I observed during the interviews are, I mean, for certain candidates, you could sense that they didn't want to open up, so in very measured in their answers, right? But like a lot of the panelists here mentioned, right, we want to really have a good chat with you, to understand your inner motivation. How do you see yourself benefiting from this upcoming intense journey, I would say, and and what Olympio mentioned, how mature are you, to manage your expectations as well. So I think in terms of answering, I would say don't follow a script, because that is quite obvious during the interviews. Be your natural self, because like you said, yes, you can prepare a lot before this jury interview, but when the time comes, just be yourself. Have some of the key points to put across to us, the jury, but most importantly is really being authentic to articulate your motivation, your aspirations, and more importantly as well, how do you link it with some of the past experience that you have accumulated, right? Because coming into the MIM, you have gone through a bachelor degree, which is a lot. So how can you extract some of the memorable, important kind of experiences that would showcase your potential to fit into a international program, right? Because for ESSEC program, it's very diverse, right? Look at all the students. I mean, you must be able to interact in a global setting. So that is one of the factors. For example, we try to suss out, we try to observe. So yeah, understanding what to expect, able to show us that yes, you have done your homework as well, identifying certain knowledge, certain facts about the program, all this, yeah, it comes into the big picture.
Thanks, Will. So I would pose one of the questions that you have raised, which is to highlight the global perspective of the personal experience. So Wenwen and Acing, so for both of you who have applied to the program, how did you guys tackle that part of the question during the interview? How would you showcase your global experience, and from what angles would you approach that?
All right, so so I think let me try to answer that. So I think in the very beginning, when I was thinking about like my master degree, I kind of planned it out. I first visited Singapore, like a university there, and I immediately liked Singapore. And then I visited another school in France, like for summer school. And then I was like, okay, I need to find a school where I can study in Singapore and Paris all together. So I just give this honest answer. That's the part of my answer. And secondly, I dig into the courses provided by different campus, like the portfolio, like the professors we have there. So that's how I tackle like the international experience part. And also like after I get admitted to the school, it's indeed offered me a lot of international experience opportunity. Like we did this like study trip, like for my internship, I did my internship in Luxembourg and I work in London. Now I'm in Paris. So I think it's like, to me, it's like, this is something I really want and I plan for it. And this is path I follow and this is where I am. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I guess it's similar. Before I joined ESSEC, I was thinking I would really want to go to a school where they're very international. So they have a campus in Paris, in Singapore, and I also did an MBA exchange at Duke University in the States. So for me, it's a great opportunity to know different countries and know different cultures. I did an internship in Singapore at PwC, AXA, and then I worked in Paris for 2 years, and I moved to London for 2 years. So I don't think other schools could offer you this kind of unique experience. You could explore the world so much. And after 3 years, you just feel, wow, I have achieved so much after 3 years. I just couldn't believe that.
I think maybe even I want to add something here because I know the question on a lot of applicants' mind would be that they do not have any international experience. And a part of the application does ask, like, do you have any international experience or not? So for me, I did not have any international experience prior to ESSEC. And I say that with experience that it is not a disadvantage for you. And I'll urge that all the applicants can actually use it to their advantage to get into ESSEC because mm, once like if you do not have any such experience, you can always say that this is one of the key reasons you want to join ESSEC. And as we have already emphasized that it is such a global campus, like we have campus in Singapore and in France, but we also have one in Morocco as well. And apart from that, I think there's so many nationalities in ESSEC. I think there are 95 plus nationalities at a given point in campus, different cohorts. So that is something which shouldn't be seen as something negative or something which is not to an advantage of a candidate. But if you do not have any such experience, it's completely fine. Just try to use it to your advantage and should be fine for you guys.
Great, thanks for adding that perspective, Harshit. Yeah, because for some of our students who are applying for the Mim program, they may not have as much international experience in the first place. So never fret, like what Harshit says. It is how you can actually make the most out of what you want to get from the program. And then from there, you can actually highlight your aspirations to want to go global. Yeah, okay, so time is running out a little bit because I still have a second segment. So I'm going to wrap up the first segment before I pass the baton to Leo. So I'm going to appeal to Harshit and Wenwen for one final tip. If there's only one piece of advice to give to our applicants out there, what would it be?
Maybe I can start. Yeah. So don't forget about the scholarship part. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but I was very lucky. I got the FR scholarship. So they gave me monthly allowance for 2 years, which is very nice. I think ESSEC really, they helped a lot with students. When I applied for the scholarship, they gave me advice on how to phrase yourself, how to prepare for the interview. So yeah, don't forget about that. And yeah, that's my most important advice.
Yeah, I'll just also like to chime in. So the good thing is that students don't even need to worry about which scholarships they want to apply. So we will naturally consider you for all the scholarship options that are out there. And then we will notify you upon the admission results are out. Yeah. Harshit?
So I did not get a scholarship. Okay, so that's a different something which I really feel bad about. But nonetheless, no. So my advice to you guys would be, I think, be confident, be honest, and be a bit nervous. So don't be overconfident, first of all. As I said, do focus on your application. It's very important. Secondly, be honest. Like, don't write anything which is not true in the essays or in your motivation letter or in any part of the application. Even in the interview, do not say something which is not true. If you do not have an answer to any question, just say, sorry, sir or ma'am, I am not able to answer this question. We really value honesty rather than someone telling us something which is not true. And trust me, the interviewers do catch you guys if you're saying something which is not true. And thirdly, be a bit nervous. So that's good if you're nervous, I think that really keeps you on the edge and really ensures that you are motivated and you are on the right track during your application. And one thing again to point here is that as the ESSEC alumni or the panelists who are interviewing the people, we really want you to join ESSEC. If your application gets shortlisted to the interview round, we feel that yes, you are valuable to join ESSEC. So we really want you as much as you want to join ESSEC. So it's just be normal and be honest and should be fine for you all.
Thanks for upholding those traits true to the spirit, Harshit. I can see that shining from you from this session. So thanks for walking the talk. Yeah, okay, I shall now pass the time to my co-host Leo. The floor is yours.
Thanks, Yvonne. So maybe I'll start this segment with a round robin. All of our alumni panelists here can share. Maybe the question is, going through the MIM program, I think all of you had the chance to study in the Singapore campus, right? Going through the MIM program and also, studying in Singapore. How did this journey or experience, right, kind of contribute to your future goals, your career goals? How did it, add weight to your current career goals? Maybe Nancy, you want to start?
Sorry, me? Yes. I think, am I on mute? No, right?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, I studied in Singapore campus for I think nearly 1 year. And I'm sorry, I have to be honest there, but to be fair, it didn't directly help me to achieve my career goal, but it helped me a lot to understand what do I want. Because I first choose corporate finance track, and I was like, maybe I should try financing because this looks fancy and everyone like it almost. But after spending a couple of months like studying corporate finance, and then I realized actually finance or corporate finance is not my thing. And then that's how I realized, okay, I probably need to pivot to another track. Because to me, it's like, it's all about the experience, and it's all about you try it out and to figure out what do you really want. Sorry, probably that's not the perfect answer you're looking for, but that's
No
my
problem,
story.
no problem. But I think that is something important, just for me to add on, because you know, I always tell the outside world, right, the MIM graduate, right, every single one is different. You know, every single one is different because of the numerous tracks and the numerous kind of options and combination that you can have in your period of study. So every single one is unique. And what you mentioned, Nancy, it's also part of the journey, right? Because it's by elimination, right? You get to try things out, you know, because I mean, going to school is also a kind of exposure, right? You actually get uncomfortable, you know, learning things that you might not really like, but that's part of the journey, you know. So yes, it could be through elimination. What about you, Olympio?
I didn't introduce in my initial introduction what I did at ESSEC. So I basically did 1 year in Singapore to start, and then did a double degree with Bocconi University. So went in Mumbai for 4 months, and then to Milan for 3 months, and basically didn't go through Paris, or almost not. Paris, I know it, and so now it was time to go somewhere else. And it was very important. What Harshit, you said before, really resonated with me. I didn't have any international experience back then, but it's okay to join ESSEC without this experience and to say, hey, I want to have international exposure, to know people from somewhere else. But it's not okay when you want to join a job that is international. You need to have had this exposure in the past. And so it was really important for me to have built up it, not just as a career objective, also to build my personality, but it was really important. And having this 2 years abroad, studying and doing projects and working with companies, and we'll touch on that later, I think, but really helped to build my resume with international experiences, and not only the resume, but also about knowing how people in other contexts, in other cultural or geographical contexts work, was super important for me, and are really useful in my day-to-day work. Not working directly with Asia, but with the US or other European countries. It's super helpful to have this eye-opening experience.
Thanks, Olympio. So one thing that you highlighted is really enhancing your cultural awareness, right? Kind of a you know, culture map kind of enhancement. That's great. What about Harshit? You know, any during your studies here, you know, be it knowledge or be it the kind of experience, how did it help you in your current career?
I think I would focus on the experience part of it, because I believe that anyone can be taught any skills, but it's all about how you interact with your peers and how you go about different situations when you work in groups. And currently I see that in my current job as well, as a full-time employee, I have colleagues from different nationalities. They come from different backgrounds, different cultures. And the first taste of it was, for me especially, was in ESSEC itself. I think what ESSEC really also focuses on is that for each and every subject that I took, I had to work in groups with a very diverse group, I must say, because the professors ensured that all of us, be it 5 or 6 people in a group, we came from different countries. It was different genders involved and people from different cultures and everything. So we did work together, and I think that's the first instance where we realized that we will not agree at all the times with each and every one, but then how do we or how can we really work as a group together so that it benefits our common goal at the end and we can work towards it. So slowly and steadily it really built up for me, and I see the difference now. In the corporate world, it's a very international atmosphere, same what I had in ESSEC as well. And I think for internships as well, I did an internship in Singapore, I did 2 in Paris, different industries, and it really also I think gave me that clarity which industry I want to work on. So I think it was a good package altogether, and it's really helping me now.
Thanks, Harshit. Wenwen, how about your journey?
Yeah, sure. So for me, my Singapore experience was really great. I really like the culture in Singapore that's very inclusive, open, and innovative. I did a digital disruption chair and a corporate finance track in Singapore. So for me, my ideal career is in VC or innovation. So I started first internship in PwC Singapore doing the corporate venture capital investment, which was fantastic because obviously Singapore is the fintech hub for Southeast Asia. And then I did an internship in AXA also for digital transformation. So these 2 internships really made me realize what I like. And I was lucky enough to be in Singapore, so I got to know everything quickly, knowing what are the trends for fintechs and all that. Then I finally landed my full-time job in BNP. So I do appreciate those time in Singapore.
Thanks, Wenwen. So maybe just for the audience, some of you might not be familiar with the term chairs, right, in school. So it's something that ESSEC has, since very long time ago. So we in terms of chairs, right, is where we actually have a industry partner. It could be a single sponsor or a multiple industry partner. They will focus on a certain subject area, and things can be created revolving this setup. So you can have teaching chairs, you can have research chairs, where you involve students, professors, and the industry, all the 3 parties coming together and doing great things together. So, I mean, there's really a lot to talk about, but that's just in short, right, how a chair works. And all the students, you have a chance to apply to be part of the various chairs that are available in ESSEC. So it's quite a lot and quite interesting, and it's quite an experience as what Wenwen has shared as well. Okay, so apart from studying in Singapore, right, the journey, the lessons, the soft skills that you have accumulated, I think some of you have done internship as well, be it in Singapore or maybe in Paris. Would you like to share with the audience how did you get to apply, for internship? How was the process like, and also your experience going through internship? Because in all the ESSEC program, right, we have a high emphasis on internship experience, right, because this is something very, very valuable. Harshit, maybe you want to start?
Sure. So for me, I did 1 internship in Singapore and 2 in Paris. So the first one, I think it was very convenient, I must say, as compared to the Surgery campus, like with the career services team, especially in Singapore. With a smaller campus, and it's very easy to meet the mentors and ask them, can you please, help me with my resumes, the LinkedIn profile, and so on. So the coaching staff is really, I would say, very good in both the campuses, and they really focus on which industry you want to join and what kind of skills are needed to excel in that particular profile or other industry. And I really leveraged on this fact that I met those mentors and I asked them for one-on-one coaching sessions as well, where they pointed a lot of corrections in my resume, or how I can approach people during networking sessions and through my LinkedIn messages and so on. And secondly, I think what really benefited me was the career fairs and the networking sessions. So again, I think on a weekly basis, we had someone or the other from different industries who came to the campus for an hour or so and just spoke about what they are doing in the industry and or what their company is doing in the corporate world. So that really gave us an exposure that, okay, fine, this is happening in the outside world. And then after that, it gave us a chance to meet those people and ask real-time questions to them. Same thing, I think, happened in Surgery as well. And talking about the career fairs, well, that's an opportunity where we got to meet the recruiters, the managers from different industries. Career fairs does not offer you a job instantly. Like, it's not something that a company comes and gives you a job, but that is to just ensure that you first of all know about different roles which are open in different industries, and you talk to those recruiters and managers about what's happening there and what the recruitment process is. And secondly, I feel it's also very important to ensure that the recruiter or the manager knows you at the end of the day. So I think that's a separate conversation where you have to really follow up and the different techniques in that regard. But for all my internships and everything, I think the career services did play a part at ESSEC, and I feel that it's really good and they really gives you an edge over other students from different colleges.
Thanks, Harshit. You actually highlighted the mantra of my team, because we always say we don't give the fish, but we teach you how to fish. Okay, thanks for highlighting that. How about Wenwen? I think you also had several internships which you mentioned just now. Maybe you want to share a bit more on how did you manage to secure, and what was your experience like, doing internship both in Singapore and as well as in Paris?
Yeah, I have to say a big thank you to the career service in Singapore, because they helped me with my both internships before graduation. I think I didn't really know much how to apply for a job before going to ESSEC. So the summer in Singapore, I really struggled a lot. I didn't know what to put in my resume. I put some random thing that doesn't really matter. So I think the career service really, the whole office are very nice. They spent time with me, first review my draft, and then mock interview with me, so I could be really prepared before my formal interview. So that was a great time for me. And then I want to highlight the importance of networking. ESSEC is pretty well known, and all the alumni will definitely help if you just drop them a message on LinkedIn, just saying, I'm interested in what you're doing. Can we grab a coffee together? I think no one would say no to you unless you're asking for a job directly. Just kidding. But based on my experience, when I was in Singapore, I looked for a job. I sent a lot of LinkedIn messages, and a lot of them got responses. So it's really a great culture to find an internship. For the interview itself, I think you have to be prepared. If people give you the opportunity, try to shine. Try to tell people why you want this job, and try to combine with your experience. That's very important.
Right. Thanks, Wenwen. Maybe I can get Acing and Olympio to chip in on your experience with career services support. I mean, not necessarily be from the Singapore campus, but also my counterparts in Paris, which is a huge team. A lot of resources there as well. Olympio, maybe you want to share.
Thank you. Yeah, so indeed, I didn't do any internships during ESSEC because I already had validated my professional experience, which is a thing you can do if you have long enough experience before. But it doesn't mean I've not interacted with career services, and it was really one of the key elements of ESSEC. They really want you to try. They really want to try and help you get a job, and a good job. That's really their interest. Train you and get you the right job, and there are many initiatives to do that. In Singapore, I think it's more personalized, even more personalized, let's say, than in Paris, because you are less people in this campus, and so you can really feel that there is a constant effort to train you, to have to explain to you how to build the best resume. As you mentioned, when you can have personal meetings with the career service to ask whatever you need, but you also meet with companies all the time. You have career fairs, you have consulting projects with external companies. Actually, when I started at ESSEC, I think it was the first day we met with an external company, and it was I think it was Club Med and Sodexo, and we had to conduct for 1 month a consulting project. That's when you want to do strategy consulting afterwards. That's an experience. the first day you start with this junior consulting experience, as we call it, and it's not only for the first month of it's all across your program. And I actually found my current job at a career fair in Paris that was dedicated to consulting, where you can meet all the big firms that you can name, and there you can meet alumni. It's often alumni that are sent to the fairs to meet with the students, and so you can really engage this conversation, as you mentioned, Wenwen, and then pursue the discussion afterwards and find a job. Everything is very well done to help you find the jobs of your dreams.
Thanks, Olympio. Lacey, what about your experience?
Yeah, I think I totally agree. And I'm probably the one who over leveraged the career service because I was part of the mentorship program. I got a coach, and career service helped me with my CV, and all my interview opportunity are through ESSEC network. I mean, sorry, but that's the truth. But one thing I want to highlight is it's true that there are a lot of resources you can use, and people are really willing to help you because this is like the community I personally really like and enjoy. But one thing is they open the door for you, but you are actually the one who decide and make efforts to go to to get that opportunity. I mean, in the end, it's not unlike study, like finding a work is not, no one gonna do spoon feeding. You need to make your own efforts. So that's one thing I want to add there. Yeah.
Thanks, Lindsay. So I think as what our panelists has mentioned, what is being structured in the program itself, there will be a lot of interaction with the industry in many forms, right? Industry projects, talks, visits, study trips. There's so many options out there. But I think this element is very, very important, even for our team, because you want to really be up to date, right? What's happening out there, and at the same time, able to explore your various options, in terms of the job roles, the kind of possibilities that you can have upon graduation. So I think that part is well established, And of course, the other element would be our alumni community, which is a very powerful network. Globally as well, our alumni is based, is spread all over the world. So I think wherever you are, I think like what Lian Xing said, is whether you want to reach out, right? The resources are there. It's whether you want to reach out to network and start really building the connections. Okay, so yeah, I think that's what I have for my part, the segment. Maybe back to you, Yvonne.
Thanks so much for all your wonderful sharing. We have quite a lot of questions on the Q&A. I'm reserving them for our dear alumni because they're the best place to answer them. So I'll just.
I'm sorry, it's hard to hear you.
Yvonne, a bit soft.
Yeah, you feel far from the mic.
Oh, okay. Is it better now?
Slightly.
Oh, interesting.
Not really.
Okay, I'll try to speak very loudly if this works. Okay, great. So thanks so much for all your sharing. So we have got quite a lot of questions from the viewers, and I'm keeping them for our panelists here because they have been there, done that. One of the very often asked question is about the curriculum here at the Mim program. What are the classes like, and how many hours are there in a day? What kind of classes can we learn? So feel free to chime in, any one of you.
So for me, I think it was usually the classes at ESSEC are 3 hours long. And at the start of every track or block, as we call it in ESSEC, you are supposed to choose the subjects you want to take over a period of 1.5 months or, or 3 months at times. So it depends, if you are doing a track or a chair or anything else at ESSEC. Before you are required to make these, I would say, choices, you are given a good brief about all the courses and which professors are gonna conduct those courses, what's the course curriculum. So that is when usually is a time when you have to go through okay, do you really want to take the subject or not in this particular trimester or block, or maybe keep it for later. So ESSEC has some elective courses, some core courses, and in case you are planning to go to different campuses like I did, which was in Singapore and in France, you can keep some subjects for the second campus as well. A suggestion here, like I would advise that you do not take more than maybe 2 courses in a day, because if you have 3 courses, it gets a lot tiring and you're not able to focus on a lot of different things in terms of, working with different people for different case studies, or to even apply for jobs or internships. So I at max just had 2 courses in a day, at times even like, no courses in a day, where I just dedicated the time to prepare for other things at ESSEC. Anyone else want to add on to it?
If not, then I'll move on to the next question. A lot of people are asking, okay, what is the ideal GMAT GRE score? That's the hot potato. Okay, so actually, you might want to answer that question many times as student ambassador. I'll let you have the grace of doing that.
So, the answer to that is there is no good or bad GMAT score, first of all. As Yvonne said, that yes, I have interviewed a lot of people, and we have selected students with low GMAT scores as well, and we have rejected students with a very high GMAT score as well. So, like as I said, GMAT or GRE is very important. So yes, you need to work hard on it, but that is not the only criteria where we filter out the applicants. So we really go through the entire application in terms of course, the GMAT score is the first thing, but then there are other elements like the essays or the motivation letter, the LORs, or what you write in the application as a whole. So we look at the complete package. And as I said, because we do understand that at times, when someone is giving the GMAT GRE, the situation might not be right, or people go through different phases at all. So just rejecting candidates on that one score is not ideal, and ESSEC stands by it. So we do look at the entire application. What I advise is that yes, you need to work hard on these exams, because at some point, we do consider that as an edge over other students. But then it's not something which you should be, completely disheartened or just think that, oh, I wouldn't get into ESSEC. In case, it's a bit low, your score, you can always make up for it in other parts of the application.
Yeah, totally agree. Olympio, anything to add on that note? Because you're coming from the ESTF track, so it's not just the GMAT, but the Tashmash is also one of the key criteria for ESTF track.
Yeah, however, I would think that's basically the same approach. There is no good score, so a very good score will of course be easier to the rest of the application will only support more your application, but definitely I don't think it's that when reviewing the applications, that's the only thing. That's just a score. You want to have it as high as possible, and that's the one you can have. Really, you can't change your experience, or at least if you don't wait for another year or so to apply. But you can you can act on this. So you should definitely work as much as possible to have the highest score possible. But that doesn't mean that there is a minimal score, or so just think what you want to do and try your best.
Yeah, I totally agree. So the next question that we have that's asked quite frequently is about exchange and dual degree programs. So I'll leave it to one of you who have actually done either an exchange or double degree programs before to talk about what's the process like, how do you actually get into it, how long is the duration, and how do you actually apply?
Yeah, can I take this question, please?
Yeah.
I did the MBA exchange at Duke University, so I did profit from this exchange program. It's basically based on your academic scores and also your GMAT scores. So have to work hard, study hard. And I can't remember how long it took to get a decision, but definitely you could choose 3 schools that you want to enroll, and then based on your scores, then you get the results. It's very good. My MBA exchange was 3 months in the US, which was very nice because it's an MBA program, which is kind of a nice taste of what could be in the future. And sorry, I have to go. So all the best. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Mohan. Thanks so much for your sharing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so there are limited seats available for exchange and double degree programs. So like what Wenwen has mentioned, it's highly competitive. So a lot of it will be merit based. So work hard during your term in ESSEC and always apply early. The next often asked question would be the timeline of the program and how many internships are possible during the course of study. I think anyone who has done at least a few internships might want to tackle this question.
Maybe I can add over to it. So, the duration of the program is usually 2 to 3 years. I think that's the ideal duration. ESSEC is a very flexible program, so I'm sure as you're going to read through the information on the web and on the website, you'll realize that you can do a lot of things. You can take a break in between and do maybe part-time jobs or internships and so on, or go on exchanges and other things. I did 3 internships at ESSEC, so, and 6 months each. So you can realize, like, you know, it's I really took advantage of extending my program and ensuring that I know for myself that which industry I want to join, which kind of role I want to work in. And that was the reason, like, honestly, I thought that it's better to do an internship first and then enter an industry so that I have good clarity and I know which sector I want to work at. I did work at banking as well, where Wenwen was, like she just left in BNP Paribas, and I really did not like it. So I knew banking is not for me and I really need to go to some other sector. So yeah, I think it just depends on how you really plan your courses. And you then have to see, okay, fine, when or if you want to go on an exchange or do an internship, and then you can plan to graduate accordingly.
Great.
I would just add on that it's so flexible. You can do whatever you want with your trimester in ESSEC. It's you can go on an internship and then decide to have classes, and it's really super flexible. Even you can even have classes in the summer if you do, as I did, the GMA Global Manager in Asia, so where you learn about how to work effectively in Asia. So you can really do whatever you want with your program and with your schedule, and ESSEC is very accommodating. Even apprenticeship is super flexible to adapt to what companies want. And if they want to do 3 days, 2 days, it's possible. If they want to do 1 month, 1 month, it's possible. I think it's possible. Everything is super flexible. The most important is that you have experience on the field, so ESSEC is always helping to get you to that.
Great. Okay, we have time for one last question. This is already coming to 8:30. The question is, can we get into more than one chair? Because I know chairs are very popular in the Mim program. So any takers for this question? I think it's a matter of project management.
I think, yeah, so to answer that, yes, you can do multiple chairs, but in a year, you can do only 1 chair. So chairs in ESSEC run from January till June, 6 months. So in case you plan to do a chair in 1 year, then you can, of course, apply for another chair the following year. But in 1 year, you cannot do multiple chairs, or you cannot do 2 chairs at the same time.
So with this, we have come to the end of the segment. So time flies when you have a great company. It's nice to see all our alumni coming back and with you as well, also heading up the alumni department to have this insightful sharing with all of you. And I hope all of you have gotten some useful takeaways from our panelists. So for those of you who are keen to join our program, so please look up the chat links below for more information. And also contact our student ambassadors for personal guidance. I know you can't get enough of our alumni, but don't worry, we have got student ambassadors who are online all the time to answer your questions. So we wish you the very best in your application and hope to see you on our campus one day. Last but not least, I would like to thank everyone in this panel for their insightful sharing and all of you who's taken time to join us. So have a good rest of the day and goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.